And the book's not funny. That book is not funny at all. I never read the whole book. I've read parts out of it because it was so popular, and it was discussed in school when I was in high school. And so excerpts out of that book are pretty popular. But I never knew he had his own award. And why on earth would they give it to comedians? That seems weird to me. That a guy like Mark Twain, who was an author and a scholar, I guess, maybe not, but he was an author. So an educated guy who knew how to read and write, wrote a book, a very popular book, a book that is referred to a lot, in school. So not just the school here in not this just school I went to, but school in general. So the Mark Twain Award, Dave Chappelle received that, and they had a special on Netflix. So I don't know if everyone's working, if anyone's working still. I don't know if TV shows have been halted. I know that the talk shows are still going on, but these guys are doing it from their homes. I've seen several talk shows, even political shows like the Young Turks, which I love. The guy Sink or Jake, even though he spells his name with a C, or his parents probably are responsible for that, spelling his name with a C instead of a J. Anna Kasparian, I love that young lady. She's intelligent, knowledgeable, a good person. You can tell she's a good person by what she stands for. She cares about human beings instead of just money and politics. And a lot of people in politics just care about money. They're just trying to make money and so worried about money. I don't know what they're going to do with all the money. Are you planning on leaving it to your kids? My opinion about being rich. This is my opinion. I'm not rich. So, but this opinion might not hold a lot of water with a lot of people. But my opinion on being rich is, if you die a billionaire, you lose. Because to me, the point of money is to spend it. And not stupidly, but to not die with $1 billion and someone else is going to spend your money in ways that you would not want or believe. Okay, you're going to leave this money to your kids and grandkids, and they're going to be out partying and buying Lamborghinis and hookers and cocaine and all kind of dumb shit, and you're going to be thinking, what? You're not going to be thinking anything, maybe, unless you're actually seeing it. If you're actually a spirit and you're floating around looking at what's going on, you're going to thinking, man, that is the most ridiculous thing ever. I should have done something else with that money besides leave it to these jackass kids. But if you're a billionaire and you die with $1 billion in the bank, you lose, in my opinion. You should have done something with that money. Donated, not all of it, but, sure, you should leave your kids some money. Not enough for them to be a snobby bastard and to never work again, but you should leave them some money. I'm not saying don't leave your kids any money, but your kids should have to work. They should have to learn, how to fend for themselves and to generate some revenue. for themselves and not just rely on their inheritance. You know, rich kids are snobs most of the time. Not all the time. Some of them have had some values instilled in them. But for the most point, rich children are snobs. So if you die with $1 billion and you know that money's just sitting there and just goes to your kids and grandkids and they just spend it stupidly, to me, you lose, man. You had $1 billion when you was alive and you could have done something great with that money, like helped a bunch of kids with cancer, or, you know, built a homeless shelter, or a foster home or something. You know, a home for kids in foster care to have nice clothes, where you buy them nice clothes to wear to school and get them computers and tutors and whatever they need. A place to live that's nice and comfortable, and they have their own room. Don't have to share it with other kids and have to fight or whatever it is. But that's what money is for, in my opinion, not to hoard it all like toilet paper and sanitizer. But to do something with it, you know. Don't die with $1 billion. Donate money to the Children's Miracle Network or St. Jude's Children's Hospital, you know, or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's not cool. In my opinion, it's not cool to die with $1 billion. Or just to leave it to your kids or grandkids. Like, I don't want my kids to be poor. Great. A lot of people don't want their kids to be poor, but that doesn't mean they're going to leave them. It doesn't mean they're going to leave them $1 billion or that you should leave them $1 billion. You know, I was out today and went to Lowe's, actually. I went to Lowe's and bought some window blinds. I had a couple windows in my house that didn't have any curtains up in front of them. And I got tired of it. And today I did something about it. But man, Lowe's had some people there. There were some people at Lowe's. Lowe's must be one of those essential business. Lowe's and Home Depot is with the grocery stores and Walmart and everything. Essential businesses to stay open. You got to be able to buy some tools and a lawnmower, I guess. Washer and dryer and some lumber. Because Lowe's was open. And they had all their stay 6 feet apart and stickers on the floor. So Lowe's was adhering to the necessity of social distancing. Everybody needs to social distance. But it sure is weird to me how some places are essential and some are not. All the restaurants that I drove past were closed. And the price of gas has gone down. Down, down, down. So it doesn't even matter if you, It doesn't even matter if you have like one of these points cards and you try to use it to get cheaper gas. You don't need to if you run out of points, and you don't need to use it to get cheaper gas, because gas is already as cheap as it's been since probably I was a younger person. A younger person, like 30, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I think I seen gas as like 152 or something a gallon. I was like, wow. Never thought I'd see that again, ever. In my life. But we did. But all the restaurants, man, closed. But that leads me to thinking about something, because I heard this last week on the radio. I heard this conversation on this talk show about tipping, and that was this. They were talking about tipping. Do you still tip for curbside service pickup? I mean, you go to the restaurant and they either bring the food out to you, or you got to go in and get it, but it's already ready. Do you still tip? And what percentage do you tip? And I'll give you this. My opinion is this. I've never tipped according to a percentage. I've always tipped according to service. Now, I haven't ordered any food since the pandemic started. I've only gone through a drive-through for my daughter. She's 6 years old, and sometimes, she wants to go to a fast food restaurant, which I only was taking her to a fast food restaurant once a week. So she asks me more than once a week. I tell her no. You're going to eat some dinner at home. I'll cook you something. But I heard this conversation about tipping, and I always thought I never tip according to a percentage. I never actually understood that, because for one, in this day and age with me, you're going to get a tip. No matter what, you're going to get a tip, unless the waiter or waitress comes to the table and just punches me right in the mouth. You're going to get a tip. It might not be a good tip, you know what I'm saying, but you're going to get a tip. And it's all based on your service. If you got good service, then you will get a good tip. And for me, good service is easy. It ain't hard. All you have to do is come to the table, be polite, not be rude. Say, may I take your order, please? Are you ready? If you're not ready, here's some menus. Take a look. I'll be right back. Make sure we have water, silverware, and napkins. Don't make me have to flag you down to ask you for water, silverware, because I've had to do that before. I've had to flag some waitresses down and be like, hey, you never did bring the water back. I'm kind of thirsty while I'm looking at this menu. I'd like to, drink some water. Or you're sitting there with a plate of food in front of you, like they bring the food and they never brought the silverware. They set the food down and then they walk off, and you're sitting there like, how am I supposed to eat this, you dumb bitch? So my tipping was always based on service, not a percentage. I will tip you, and I'll tip you great if your service is great. And it's easy to be great. For me, all you got to do is bring water, napkins, and silverware, and be polite. You know what I mean? Come back to the table every now and then and says, does anyone need everything? Does anyone need anything? Just ask. That's all you got to do. But you're going to get a tip with me. It's not going to be according to a percentage, though.